Previously on Squad Sprint.
Get the sombreros at the ready. It's the Mexican Grand Prix, round 15 of the championship. Pleased about that as Veloce Surprise takes full advantage, moves up into P2, round the outside of Primero he goes, and he makes it stick. Oh no, now the McLaren back of Arava and thinks about a move. We're on lap 4 out of 5. Whoa! Huge moment there for Taylor up the inside. They're on their feet in the baseball stadium section, and Danny muscles his way through. No, he doesn't. He goes for it in a moment as they hit the line. There it's there. Sarge has won the race. Brilliant result for him, second for...
Hello and welcome back to Veloce Esports Squad Sprint. I'm F1 Esports commentator Justin Sutton, filling in for the red-haired Scottish bloke who I occasionally have chats with while virtual cars are driving around virtual circuits. We're in Bahrain for the 16th round of this series and the final night race of the calendar. 15 corners comprise the current layout of this gorgeous Tilke circuit, along with 2 DRS zones. I'm certain we'll see plenty of action today all around the track, but first let's head down to the grid. It's a beautiful evening here in Sakhir, and unsurprisingly, the forecast for today's mayhem is dry with a chance of tears as the drivers prepare to go racing in their bumper cars for what will undoubtedly be a very clean race, right? Let's take a look at the grid. It's the usual suspects up front as the dirt rally specialist of Isa starts ahead of the FIFA specialist of Niren. Row 2 features avid sneaker enthusiast Arab alongside the German driver Dorniaden. Eterno lines up in 5th position and alongside Storm on the 3rd row of the grid. Row 4 is an all-British affair with Surprise, starting ahead of rabid Ferrari fan Tom 97, and rounding out the top 10, it's Photon in P9 and Mr. Faster Than Real Racing Drivers in P10. Row 6 is the Super Saltunk brothers with Sonich leading the charge, but not the championship, and bringing up the rear, it's our championship leader, the tallest sim racer in this galaxy, Formula Danny. And there is the safety car. We won't be needing that today, with damage turned off, and thank goodness for that, otherwise I think the race would be over before DRS even gets activated. We join Formula Danny, the championship leader, at the rear of the grid from 13th position. It looks like a good start for the Saltunk brothers and for Formula Danny. A terrible start for Tom 97 is going to see him drop right down to last position as they all go streaming into turn 1. This can only end in tears. Lots of contact. Isa, who started on pole position, losing a couple of positions. Dorniaden, Niren, Arab, all managing to get by. Dorniaden takes the lead of the race, actually, with Niren right behind him. Here comes Arab following behind as well. Where is Niren going? He is way, way off the circuit. That's going to lose him an enormous amount of positions. Isa retakes that 2nd place position. Arab in 3rd, where he started this race. Oh, but some contact with James. Contact with James is going to send Arab spinning off to the side of the circuit. And James makes the move, though, actually, on Sonich. Nice move there at the turn 8 hairpin. That's going to see him move up a position, back on board with Tom 97, who had that terrible start. He's managed to get past Arab and Niren as well after their issues on the opening lap. And here he goes with the nice exit out of turn 10. He's going to move past Joe Eterno Veloce, and he's going to follow behind in P10 with Veloce Photon just ahead of him in that Mercedes. We go on board with the other Mercedes of Formula Danny. He's got his championship rival Sally Saltunk just ahead of him. And, of course, he wants to try and get ahead of him more than any other driver, but you can see a number of positions gained already for our championship leaders. Sally already up into 7th position, Danny already up into 8th, an absolutely flying start, and it looks like behind Tom has already moved up into P9 as well, so making up some positions later on in this race. But here is your leader, the Ferrari of Veloce Dorniaden, the German, leads after 1 lap of racing here in Bahrain, and we can see exactly how that happened as we go on board with Niren in the Force India. You can see he gets a marginally better start compared to Isa. He's also got the inside line into turn 1. He brakes much, much later than the Red Bull as well. Goes a bit deep into the corner, and then he can't seem to find the throttle. It's the one on the right, Niren. It's the one on the right. You got to use the throttle. But here comes Dorniaden, a much better exit coming out of turns 2 and 3. And then here goes Niren. He's heading off to play some FIFA, I can only assume. And then he just, oh god, and then he gets some wheel spin as well. Let's go on board with Arab. He got some oversteer as well. I think a tap at the rear through turn 4 there. Lots of contact with all of the drivers. He's got the inside line into this right-hander, but then there's that contact with James, and facing the wrong way in squad sprint, that is not ideal. Not ideal, as Arab would say, but we rejoin this battle between our championship leaders, currently for 7th position, with Storm going up the inside on Veloce. Surprise actually gets the move done. Solly follows him through. Danny's going to try and follow him through, too, around the outside of turn 2, inside for turn 3, but no, he doesn't quite have the speed. They're still going to be side by side. Storm defends the inside line, going side by side with Solly, but Solly switches over to the inside line. 2 battles, side by side. Here we go, through turn 4. Will Solly come out on top? The Alfa Romeo with the inside line through this right-hander is just about going to squeeze him, but no, Storm fights it back. Surprise has lost that position. Oh, heavy contact there between the Alfa Romeo and the Red Bull, and here comes Surprise. He's got a surprise for all 3 of them. He's going to overtake the whole lot through 1 corner. Surprise moves up into a top 5 position. Danny gets forced wide a little bit there at the entrance to turn 10. Storm, though, that gets hung out to dry at the exit of the corner. That's going to allow Danny to move through, I think. No DRS just yet. It's only lap 2, of course. And with the inside line into turn 11 here, I think Danny, very, very close to the back of Solly there as we lose connection to Sonic, unfortunately, bringing us down to just 12 drivers in this race. And what an amazing battle that was. Isa, though, is still in 2nd position as we come to the end of the 2nd lap. He's trying his best to try and close in on Dornier, but really, he's got to be worried about James as James makes a little bit of contact with the rear end of that Red Bull. Just gives him a little boop just to let him know he's there. End of lap 2, DRS gets activated now, but not, of course, on this start-finish straight. Heavy defense of the inside line for the Red Bull of Isa, but will James be later on the brakes? Oh, yes, much, much later on the brakes in that Haas, and he is going to move up ahead of the Red Bull. Isa dropping down into 3rd position, still in a podium position, and with a big gap down to the Williams of Veloce Surprise, who is coming off a couple of race wins as well. Oh! I didn't even think Isa was going to try that. That's a surprising move. And he is going to go for a bit of a drift. He is a dirt rally specialist, so if there's anybody that can spin the car around quickly, it's going to be Isa. But we rejoin this battle once again. This is now for 4th position. This is unbelievable. Just over 2 laps of racing, and Solly and Danny find themselves in 4th and 5th position with Veloce Surprise up into 3rd. Solly and Surprise definitely have a history of sim racing and league racing with one another. Niren, though, still defending from Arab. I can't believe this is still going on. Into turn 10 they go. Oh, Niren's very, very wide through that corner at the exit. DRS activated now for the McLaren of Arab. Which side is he going to go to? He thinks about the left. He thinks about the right. Is he going to be late enough onto the brakes to make this move stick? He goes around the outside at turn 11. Impressively, Niren actually gives him the room. I really would not have expected that. Surely Arab's going to cut across on him and take the position here. But no, Niren actually, he left him the room, and Niren took it, thankfully. Niren, again, very wide at the exit of turn 13, though. That's going to lose him some time, and Arab should move ahead. We go on board with James now in his quest to take the lead of this race with the benefit of DRS, with that slipstream on the run down towards turn 1, inside line as well. And let's see if he can be late enough on the brakes. He sure can. He's up into the lead of this Bahrain Grand Prix for Squad Sprint. Is he your driver of the day? Let us know in the comments down below, because that was quite a move from James to move up into the lead. But here comes Dornier actually. But no, he's holding back on his ERS. He's on 0 deployment, so he's not thinking about making a move into turn 4 like Isa did. Goes a bit wide onto the curbing there. We've got a replay now at the end of lap 3 as Niren and Arab battling once again. These two just cannot be separated here under the lights of the Bahrain International Circuit. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, we also have a replay here at the start of lap 4 as Danny tries to get by his championship rival. He does it. He dives up the inside into turn 1. A fantastic maneuver. Sees him ahead of Sally, increasing his lead in the championship if they were to finish that way. But here we go. Niren and Arab once again on the rundown towards turn 4. Is Niren going to be early enough on the brakes to actually prevent going off the circuit? Yes, he is, but Arab is not. Goes a bit wide there. Not going to really gain or lose any time, though. Sticks to the back of Niren. Oh, Niren that's not the line you want through those S's. Not at all. Again, Niren is wide at another corner. This is getting habitual now for the Force India driver. And again, another corner where he's very wide. They're coming up to Sonic as well, who's been disconnected, of course, too. So he's ghosted. And Niren goes very deep into turn 10. The switchback maneuver for the McLaren of Arava. He's got the DRS as well. Arab moves up into P12. I don't think Niren's going to be able to fight that into turn 11, so I think that might be Arab's job done with not much racing still to go. On board with Formula Danny, he wants to try and put a car between himself and Sally. He's got Sally Saltung right behind him in that Alfa Romeo. He gets the DRS, of course, off the back of that Williams of Veloce Surprise, who again, multiple race winner already at this point in this series. And he's getting very, very close. The Williams feels the need to defend. They're onto the brakes. Around the outside goes Formula Danny through turn 1. Go on, my son. That is a beautiful move for third position, for a podium position in the race. But here comes Surprise, actually. He's using lots of ERS, lots of fuel mixture. They get into turn 4, but no, Danny, very, very clever, defends the inside line into that one and holds on to that position, putting that Williams between himself and his nearest rival, which is exactly what he would have wanted. Back on board with Isa, who's down in P10. Oh, and he's also gotten the line wrong through that S section. That's going to lose him a little bit of time. He's sitting behind the sister teammate of the Toro Rosso of Eterno Joe. And Tom97 still holding on to that P8, running pretty close to the back of the Red Bull of Storm, and not close enough, unfortunately, for him, though, to get the DRS, as this is the final lap, so that's probably not going to be any more positions gained for Tom97 HD. Let's rejoin the leaders of this race. Formula Danny still has Surprise right behind him. It is very close between these two, and you can actually see Sally Saltunk as well when he looks backwards is right there behind Surprise. He wants to get past Surprise. Surprise wants to get past Danny, but it is going to be James who comes across the line to win the Bahrain Grand Prix. A bit of a celebratory weave across the finish line, and that is 25 championship points for James. Isa in the end bringing up the rear, the final points-paying position. He'll get 1 point for his efforts today. And after that breathless race, we have the final standings. It is James again who wins, picks up the 25 championship points for himself. Then comes Dorniaden in the Ferrari, 18 championship points for him in second position, a solid result. Then Formula Danny, who finishes in third, but crucially finishes 2 positions ahead of Sally Saltunk, who is way down in 5th position, with Veloce Surprise finishing in between them, picking up 12 championship points for himself. Then comes Photon, who we didn't quite see very much during that race, bit of a lonely one for him, out in 6th position, picks up 8 points for himself. Storm does manage to finish ahead of Tom97, who had that terrible start, but manages to pick up 4 championship points. Then we have Joe Eterno in 9th, and John Isa Harris bringing up the rear in the top 10 with the final championship point. And in the championship, it is still Formula Danny at the top, who actually extends his lead. It is now 12 points between himself and Sally Saltunk, with James Baldwin in 3rd position, Veloce James in 3rd, holding on to it just 1 point ahead of Veloce Alonso. Sonic Saltunk moves down into 4th. Then comes Photon in 5th position with 149 points. Tiamat Marduk, who wasn't able to make today's race in Bahrain, in 6th position with 117 points. Then it's just 9 point gap down to Tom97 HD. Tom Martinez in 7th position. Veloce Surprise, after just a few races, already finds himself in 8th position and over triple-digit points with 105. Tom Storm in 9th position with 90 points. Then comes Primero with 67 points in 10th position. Dorniaden does move up into 11th position, now sitting on 53 points after that podium finish here today in Bahrain. Then comes Eterno in 12th on 39 points. Brembo in 13th. Erev way down in 14th with only 26 points. Niren in 15th with 18 points. And John Isa Harris with points on the board, but only 15, sits 3 behind Niren.
Next time, round 17, USA.